शुरू हो रहा है नहीं, इसके बाद नहीं। Assalamu alaikum class. Welcome to you all. I'm your SST teacher. My name is Sadia Kuram. First of all, tell me, are you listening me? Tell me in your chat box. Okay, well done. Good beta. How are you all? Hope you all are fine and staying safe at your homes. Okay, beta. Okay, Atya beta. Are you listening me? Good. Now we are starting our chapter, the United Nations. Okay. We have discussed about United Nations already in our first lecture. So I will give you a short review about the United Nations, how United Nations was formed, and which was the organization, which was an organization is before established before United Nations, and this organization was the League of the Nations. Then after League of the Nations, the United Nations was formed. Is it clear? Okay. So I will give the review of the United Nations. As I told you about the League of the Nations, that uh, that was formed after First World War for maintaining peace, and the leaders of the world tried to avoid war through this organization. But the League of the Nations failed to keep peace and failed to keep maintaining peace. Uh, it had many purposes, and its basic purpose was to maintain peace. But the League of the Nation was failed to maintain peace. After that, the leaders of the world tried to resolve this problem, and they formed another organization, and its name was the United Nations. And the United Nations was formed on 24th October 1945. Then after 20 years of First World War, the Second War started, killing more than 53 million people. And when the war ended, the nations of the world and the leaders of the world decided that they have to form another organization with more powers than the League of the Nation. Is it clear? So they formed a new organization with the name of the United Nations. And the United Nations was formed on 24th October 1945. Is it clear? So our next heading is, what is the peace and prosperity? So we will discuss about the peace, how peace can maintain in the world, how nations can maintain peace in the world, and how different religions emphasize on peace. and what are the teachings of what are the teachings of the different religions about maintaining peace in the world. We can see on our screen that Cyrus the Great gave the first charter of human rights. In all the wars, not only war but civilian also get hurt. So, why he felt to need of the Charter of Human Rights? He felt that people should aware about their rights, and what are these rights? As we all know, right to justice, right to live, right to buy any type of property, right to education. These are the basic rights. But in the past, when Cyrus the Great gave the first Charter of Human Rights, people did not know about their basic rights, and they fought with each other for anything. They fought for each other for anything, with each other for anything. Beta, beta, who is doing this? Muhammad, I can see your name. Don't do this. Muhammad Arif, beta, be focused. Don't do this again. Okay. Cyrus the Great gave the first Charter of Human Rights. As I told you, he wanted that the people aware about their human rights, and what are the human rights. I have already told you: right to justice, right to live, and like this, many other rights are there. Okay, Rida beta, I'm trying my level best. So, he gave the first charter of rights, or we can say he gave the first charter of law. Minahil Khan, I will call your parents, beta. Okay, in all the wars, not only army but civilian also get hurt. It means that wars, not only armies but civilian also get hurt and die. Wars are the cause of loss. Wars are the cause of disaster. So, Muhammad Arif, beta, be focused. I'm trying my level best. Okay, so we are discussing about the wars and about human rights. You can see the picture of Cyrus also on your screen, and it is also in your book as well. He laid down the foundation of international law. For the first time, Cyrus gave the people awareness for their basic rights. Is it clear? Now, time has proved that wars are not the right way to get territory or to take revenge of any kind, or and war happens when two armies fight against each other. When wars happens, when two armies fight each other for any territory, for the purpose of revenge, for the sake of revenge, any reason can be there. One thing common to all the wars is that not only army but many other people get hurt and die. So this is the purpose of the United Nations. to avoid the war, to save its common people, to save its civilian, and to save its member countries civilians. So all the leaders of the world decided that they have to form any uh, organization like the United Nations, so they can avoid the war, they can avoid the disasters of the war and after war. So you can see the our next point that all the cultures emphasize to establish peace in the world. Which type of the cultures? It means all the religions. Okay. It means all the cultures emphasize to establish peace in the world. It means cultures mean here we can say that all the religions. So first of all, we will discuss about Islam. Islam is the complete religion. One of the meaning of Islam in Arabic is peace. You can underline these lines in your book also. These are all the important lines you can underline or write the important points. You can write the important points in your notebook as well. All the religions emphasize to establish peace in the world. So that's why we can say that Islam is the religion of peace. Other religions also emphasize kindness and love. And which are these religions? We can, if we can see in Hinduism teaches that God is present everywhere in everything. It means this religion is also does not like the war. It also emphasizes on peace. Beta Muhammad, now I can call your full name, and I will call your full name, and I will also call your parents. This is last warning to you all. Next, Buddhism. Buddhism forbids war for any reason. Better you can write down these points and the names of the religions, different religions in your copy also. Buddhism forbids war. Forbids mean Buddhism also deny war. Buddhism also dislike war. So Christianity also teaches to turn the other cheek if someone slaps on one. It means Christianity says that if anyone teases you, then if anyone teases you, then you will then then you will have to tolerate him. So all the religions and all the cultures emphasize to establish peace in the world, and Islam is also a complete religion. One of the meaning of Islam in Arabic is peace. Is it clear? So how can we avoid war throughout the world? What are the solutions for avoiding war, and what are the solutions for maintaining peace, and which are the solutions which United Nations is going to adopt? These are the solutions are as follows, like poverty should be eliminated so that everyone lives a peaceful life. We must eliminate the causes that produce war, like fear, greed, and hypocrisy. Alina, beta, check your device. Check your device, beta. Arham, I will tell you later. First of all, we will discuss and finish our lecture. Time is running, beta. And so, How can we avoid from war, and what are these reasons? These are some reasons, and these reasons like poverty. If the low income countries will be established, then they will be independent, and if the developed nations or progressive nations must help the poor countries in different areas. Areas mean in different departments. If the progressive countries help the low income countries in different departments, so they can also establish very well, and they can live a happy and peaceful life. And like this, and if we spread education in these countries, so also through this also we can eliminate poverty from the world. So these are the objectives of the United Nations also. Very good, Beta Asia. Now you can hear properly. Well done. Okay, all of you can hear. Very good. Now please be focused towards your lecture. No, we must eliminate the causes that produce war like fear, greed, and hypocrisy. These are also the main causes of the war. And these causes are of the war, and the main cause of the war is greed. Greed for what? Greed for territory, greed for land, greed for any area, to conquer any area. If the countries eliminate these causes, then that they can not, then they can avoid the war. Then they can avoid the war. Okay. So what is the solution of these reasons, and what is the solution of these problems which are causing war? The solution is that values that should be promoted in society for peace are unity, law, and justice. So we should promote unity of nations as well as unity of humankind. If the nations are being united, then they can maintain peace throughout the world. And if the nations are united, so they can also be established very well. We should also admit the freedom of our country as well as the other countries. It is necessary for all the countries that they should admit the freedom of the other countries. And this is also the solution of this problem of war. So like this, and for to follow this, we can also avoid the war. Next heading is the making of the United Nations. On 14th August, Aman, okay, good. On 14th August 1941, American President F.D. Roosevelt met with the British Prime Minister Sir Winston Churchill. These two men met together, sat together. They decided that everything possible must be done to ensure peace in the world. And they agreed upon two principles: not fighting to conquer new lands. And this is the actual reason of the war. As I told you in our previous slide, that if the countries want to avoid the war, they have to admit the independence of the other countries. Is it clear? So, first principle of their agreement was not fighting to conquer new land, but to defend the citizens of the other countries. to defend the citizens of the other countries and to admit the freedom of them, to admit their freedom. And the second point is all the people had a right to choose their own government. Is it clear that not fighting to conquer, they will not conquer any territory and they will not conquer any area of any country, and they have to and they will give that right all the people to choose their own government, to choose their own leaders. Okay. They both signed a document that contained these principles and some other principles also, which was called the Atlantic Charter. So, this agreement was called Atlantic Charter. After that, many other nations signed this charter and at last the United Nations came into being. So here the question is what is the meaning and what was the purpose of the Charter? The Atlantic Charter was a policy statement. Statement means document. It was a policy document issued on 14 August. As you can see on your screen, the date of this charter, and that defined some goals, that defined some purposes for post-war. War. Post-war means they did not want war anymore. Is it clear? So our next uh, our next heading is organs of the United Nations. And United Nations has six main organs. These are these are the organs which are being formed for dividing the responsibilities of different type of the problems and their for their solution. Okay. So one major problem. So one major problem of the League of the Nation was the lack of division of the responsibilities and the division of the different kind of authorities. No way to coordinate military or economic actions between the countries. So United Nations created with was created with six major organs in order to avoid these problems. So, what are the names of these organs? Organs mean you can say the departments of the United Nations. In easy words, you can understand or you can say that these are six different departments of the United Nations. Number one is General Assembly, Security Council, Economic and Social Council, World Court, Secretariat, and Trusteeship. Now, first of all, we will discuss our first topic, General Assembly. It consists of all member states of the United Nations and meets once in a year. It consists of all member states. And how many states are there in United Nations? Tell me, answer me in your chat box. Okay. There are 193 member states of United Nations in the beta. I am asking Abir, I am asking how many member countries are there in United Nations, because General Assembly consists of all member states. States mean countries. All member countries of United Nations meet once every year, and the session usually starts from on the third Tuesday of September and it concludes or it ended before Christmas. The decisions taken by General Assembly are not binding on any country, but they are important because of common opinion. It means that the decisions which taken by General Assembly are very important, but no one country is bound to follow these laws or decisions, but its decisions have much importance because of common opinion. Common opinion means it means that most of the countries, um, out of 193 countries, most of the countries are agreed with these decisions. Is it clear? Mir Arham, I can see your name. This is last warning to you. Okay, next one is Security Council, responsible for maintaining international peace and security. This is the main purpose of the formation of the United Nations. You remember that United Nations was formed to maintain peace and security in the world. So, Security Council, as you, the name is also the Security Council, responsible for maintaining international peace and security. It consists of 15 members of permanent members of the United Nations, five permanent members, and 10 are non-permanent members, and they are elected for 2 years. Five permanent members means these five permanent members are present in every session of Security Council. Is it clear? Permanent members also have the power of veto. Veto means or say no or yes. ठीक है? Is it clear? समझ आ रहा है आपको? Permanent members also have the power of veto. It means if they are not agreed any resolution passed by Security Council, they can say no on this, and they can also deny on the resolution passed by the Security Council. But this right is having only the five permanent members. The 10 non-permanent members have not the right of veto. Next is Economic and Social Code Council. This is a council established to eradicate the poverty from the world and to promote economic development among the nations. So, Economic and Social Council is responsible for cooperating between states as regarding economic and social matters, economic and social problems. They can solve their problems, they can discuss about their economic and social problems in this session. You can see the picture of this session also on your screen. So it has 54 members elected by General Assembly for the period of 3 years. You can write down this point in your notebook also. I will repeat this point. It has 54 members elected by General Assembly for a period of 3 years. Next one is World Court, International Court of Justice. It is also called International Court of Justice. Its headquarters are based in Hague in Netherlands. You can see also the picture of the judges. You can see the logo of the International Court of Justice. And here in other picture, you can see all 15 judges and their session of the court also. So it has 15 judges elected by member states. And I already told you that member states mean its member countries of United Nations. The World Court decides on disputes between the nations of the world. So, 15 judges are elected for 9 years. 15 judges are elected for 9 years. Judgment is given by majority votes and according to international law. And according to international law. Okay. Next one is Secretariat. This is the administrative department of the United Nations, and a Secretary General looks after it, this department. And Secretary General elected for 5 years term by General Assembly. It is a policy maker institution, and it makes the policies about the countries, and it makes also the policies about the United Nations, how to maintain relationship with other countries. So, so it is the policy maker department. You can say it is the policy maker department also. Next one is trusteeship. Trusteeship Committee. This organ does not exist anymore, and it was formed in order to look after those territories that were under control any other government after the Second World War. So you can see the session of trusteeship also, but it is also an administrative department. It was also, and because it is not exist, so it was the administrative department also. It administrated and supervised such territories which had not attained independence, which had not attained independence. So it became inactive since 1994. Write down this point in your copy. It is not in your book. It became inactive since 1994 when the last territory attained independence. So, students, these are the 6 organs of United Nations, as I have told you. Now you can ask me any question, and I will ask you a question also. What was the purpose of the trusteeship committee? What was the purpose of trusteeship committee? Abdur Rahman beta, I can see your name. Just answer me. Okay, anyone? And also tell me the number of the judges. How many judges are there in the Court of Justice? How many judges are there? Okay, Abdurrahman beta, you are saying sorry. Good. Now give me answer. How many judges are there in the Court of Justice? Well done. Very good. Isha, Alishba, Abir Fatma, Afra. Well done, beta, all of you. Good job. Okay. Okay, beta. Now tell me about the Economic and Social Council. What is the purpose of this council? Give me answer in one line. Okay, Rumesa beta, you are asking me what is the meaning of the trusteeship? Beta, it was the administrative organ of United Nations, and it supervised such territories, it supervised such as areas which had not attained independence. Is it clear? Which areas had not attained independence after Second World War? Trusteeship supervised these areas and helped them out. Is it clear? Okay, beta. Apra, beta. Good. Please try again, Apra. Give me the exact answer. You are always welcome, beta. Rumesa. It means, beta Alishba, it means making different type of wrong policies for each other. Is it clear? Making wrong policies, making wrong strategies. Is it clear? Okay. I repeat the question. What is the purpose of Economic and Social Council? Okay, beta Rumesa, well done. You have given right answer. मैंने बता दिया. Okay, well done. Okay, Abhi Fatma, very good. मैंने बता दिया. Okay, okay, beta. Good job. Good job. Our next question is, you are doing good, Asya. Okay. Now tell me, who were the two persons who agreed on the document of uh, uh, Atlantic document? Who were the two persons? Name these persons. Who will tell me? Okay, beta. Keep it up. Well done. Beta, who were the two persons or who were the two administrators of the countries who gave the Atlantic document, the Atlantic Charter? Who gave Atlantic Charter? Well done. Abir Fatma, well done. Very good. Very good. Any question from your side? Okay, beta. Time is running. We have to wind up our lecture. We will meet inshallah with new lecture, with new class. Till then, Allah Hafiz. Take care.